It was a quiet Saturday morning in a picture-perfect suburban neighborhood. Freshly cut lawns, American flags on porches, kids' bikes resting near driveways. The kind of place where nothing ever seems to go wrong. Until a shout cut through the calm. A white woman stormed out of her house, phone in hand, eyes locked on the black man standing on the front lawn next door. Her voice was sharp, loud, certain. She didn't ask a question. She made an accusation. "What are you doing here?" She yelled. "You don't belong in this neighborhood." The man looked up slowly. He wasn't running. He wasn't hiding. He stood there calmly, arms crossed, wearing plain clothes, like someone who had every right to be exactly where he was. "Ma'am," he said evenly, "I live here. I own this place." She laughed, a short, dismissive laugh that carried across the street. "That's bullshit. You're a burglar." Neighbors began to step outside. Some froze on their porches. Others lifted their phones. A few whispered to each other, already deciding what story they believed. The woman dialed 911. She told the dispatcher there was a suspicious man trespassing. She emphasized the word suspicious. She said she felt threatened. She said she was scared. Within minutes, a police cruiser pulled up, then another. Officers stepped out, hands resting near their belts. The crowd grew thicker. Phones were fully out now, recording every second. The officers approached the man first. "Sir, can you put your hands where we can see them?" He did. No argument, no sudden movements. The woman stood behind the officers, arms crossed now, chin lifted, confident. This was the moment she expected to be right, to be validated. One officer placed a hand on the man's shoulder. Another asked for ID. The man nodded. "It's in my back pocket." "Slowly?" The officer agreed. As he pulled out his wallet, the woman smirked. "See? Told you. These people always have a story." That comment drew a few uncomfortable looks from the crowd, but no one spoke up. The officer opened the wallet and paused. He looked down again, then up at the man's face. "Sir," he said carefully, "is this current?" "It is," the man replied. The officer stepped back slightly and handed the wallet to his partner. The second officer's expression changed almost instantly. His posture straightened, his tone shifted. "Yes, sir," he said. The woman noticed. "What is it?" she demanded. "Why are you talking to him like that?" The first officer cleared his throat. "Ma'am, this gentleman is not a burglar." She rolled her eyes. "Obviously, he lied to you too." The officer shook his head. "No, ma'am, he didn't." There was a pause, the kind that makes a crowd lean in. "He's a United States Marshal." The words hung in the air. Phones wobbled. A neighbor gasped. Someone in the back whispered, "Oh, damn." The woman blinked. "That's not funny." "It's not a joke," the officer said. "He's federal law enforcement." The man finally uncrossed his arms. His voice was still calm, but now there was something else in it. Authority. Finality. "I moved here 3 months ago," he said. "Paid cash. Passed background checks you wouldn't believe. I work long hours. I mind my business, and every time I step outside, someone like you decides I don't belong." The woman's face flushed red. "I was just being careful." "No," he replied. "You were being comfortable making assumptions." The crowd shifted. Some people slowly lowered their phones. Others kept recording, knowing this moment would live forever online. The officer turned to the woman. "Ma'am, filing a false report is a serious matter." Her confidence collapsed. "I didn't know. I thought—" "That's the problem," the marshal said quietly. "You thought you knew who I was just by looking at me." Silence. No one clapped. No one cheered. This wasn't a movie ending. It was real, and it was uncomfortable. The officers apologized to the marshal, not loudly, not ceremonially, but sincerely. They thanked him for his patience. As they left, the neighborhood felt different, exposed, like a mirror had been held up and no one liked what they saw. The woman went back inside her house, door slamming behind her. Curtains closed, phones stayed pointed at that door for a long moment. The marshal stood on his lawn, took a breath, and looked around. Some neighbors nodded at him now. A few even said sorry. But he knew apologies didn't erase first instincts. Later that night, the video went viral. Millions watched. Millions argued. Some defended the woman. Others called it exactly what it was. Another example of how quickly suspicion turns into accusation when bias is involved. But the reason the story stuck wasn't just the twist. It wasn't just that the so-called burglar turned out to be a U.S. Marshal. It was the reminder that respect shouldn't depend on a badge, a title, or proof of power. Because the real question wasn't who he was. It was why he had to be someone important for the truth to matter.